What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Sole Vice. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Adidas Yeezy 500 in the bone white colorway. The Yeezy 500 debuted back in 2018 in the blush colorway, and it's in my opinion Yeezy's kind of budget version of the 700. It's got that dad shoe vibe, but it doesn't have the $300 price tag. It's $100 cheaper at $200. I think there's a lot of similarities and there's obviously some differences as well. All right, enough talking, let's go ahead and get into the review. So as I said before, we do have a layered upper here, and in my opinion, the quality of the materials used here is very, very good. That's one of the things that I do appreciate about Yeezy in general. They are going to charge you a higher price tag, but at least they're going to justify it a little bit with the materials that are used, because even though this is less expensive than the $300 700s, $200 is still not cheap. So it's nice to see that they went with higher quality materials here. The suede is very, very soft. It's kind of a high hair suede. And it just has a really high quality feel to it. Even the leather that's used is not fantastic, but it's still pretty good, pretty soft, slightly tumbled. And then even the mesh is actually very similar to the mesh that you find on the 700s. The mesh that they use on the tongue is kind of the same that you're gonna see on the side panel of the 700s, right over here where the 3 stripes are. And then all the side panels on the 500 are gonna be the same mesh you have on the back of the 700 V1. So again, really high quality materials here. And I like that they kind of switched up the placement of the materials. You've got a nice mixture of suede and leather and mesh. Of course, you do have your 3M hits as well. So you do have this 3M piping that kind of runs all the way along the side of the shoe and that curves up around the front. So pretty much 360 3M here. And there's another hit of 3M on these that I don't remember from the blush colorway. And I don't have those anymore. I sold them. It took a little while for the 500s to grow on me, so I don't have those anymore. But this kind of double oval shape that you've got on the front of the tongue here that the laces weave through, on the outer lip, that's actually 3M as well. I never noticed that before. So let me know in the comments if you have the blushes, or if you know if on the blushes they had that little hit of 3M. Either way, I didn't notice it until now, but both of these hits of 3M I think really add to the shoe. I'm pretty sure there's not a sneakerhead in the world who doesn't like 3M. I haven't met one yet anyway. So anytime you've got 3M, I really like it, especially when it's tastefully done. And I really think they hit it out of the park as far as the 3M on the 500. Now the interior of the shoe also has some premium materials that I really am a fan of. So kind of in the ankle collar area here, you've got this plush padded area, very comfortable up against your ankle. Now another detail on the interior of the 500 that I do appreciate is they went with the Ortholite insole. These insoles are a lot better than the generic kind of flimsy ones that we get on the 350s or even the 700 Wave Runner. So you can see this is the generic one that you get in the Wave Runners and in the 350s. It's very, very flimsy, kind of compresses and gets flat over time. The Ortholite, it's a lot stiffer. Now that's actually a good thing. It's not stiff in a bad way, it's just a little bit more firm, gives you better support. This green foam here is the softest, and then the yellow that you have in the ball of your foot and in the heel is a little bit more firm, and then where you need the most support in your arch is even more firm. So this does make a difference. I can compare them actually, just because the Wave Runner, even though it does have the flimsier one, they updated the inertias actually to have the Ortholite insole. So I can tell you just between those two, I do notice a difference, and over a long day of walking, my feet feel even better in the inertias than they do in the Wave Runner. So I do appreciate that they went with that in the 500s. All right, so moving to the midsole, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, this is not a Boost midsole. They use Adiprene instead of the Boost. Now, even though it's not as comfortable as the Boost, it's not gonna keep your feet feeling as good as the Boost does. I will say this is not a bad material to use other than Boost. It does have a good amount of cushion and a good amount of bounce. So I would say in order to save on cost, this is not a bad way to go. Now I think the midsole on these are pretty interesting for 2 different reasons. The first one just being the design. Probably one of the first things that turned me off to the 500s when I first saw them. It's really just all over the place and kind of threw me off. You got all these weird grid lines running through it. It's all bubbly and wavy, just very different. You've got a huge chunk missing in the midfoot here on the inside of the shoe. So it's just a lot going on. Although it has grown on me, I do like it. It just makes it look that much more unique. And then the other thing I find interesting is how much Adidas branding is on this midsole. Typically, you're not gonna find Adidas branding on a Yeezy unless it's the 3 stripes. And even then they find a way to make it subtle and kind of just be a design aspect of the shoe. So on the 700s, you've got the 3 stripes that are in this mesh panel here that unless the light is hitting them, you don't even see them. And then on the 700 V2s, you've got the 3 stripes, but they're kind of like an arch that runs through the mid panel there. So again, it's pretty subtle. It's just a design aspect of the shoe. There's definitely no lettering. The other times that you see it, it's either gonna be on the inside of the shoe or on the bottom, or unless you're looking for it, you're not gonna find it. But on the 500s, on the outer midsole, you've got this Adiprene Plus branding. On the inner midsole, you've got your Adidas hit, and then even on the toe, you've got another hit of Adidas as well. So that's 3 places of branding that's pretty noticeable. It's just something that I kind of find interesting on the 500 versus the 700. Maybe that's another way they were able to bring costs down. I'm not too sure, but just something that I found interesting. Now the outsole on these is just as crazy as the midsole. A lot of different textures and lines and shapes and cutouts and things that just keep these kind of all over the place. And if I'm not mistaken, the entire sole unit on these has been used in an Adidas sneaker before. I'm not too up on my Adidas catalog, or back catalog I should say. I'm more of a Nike guy. So let me know in the comments whether or not this is from an old Adidas sneaker. I'm pretty sure it is. Now as far as sizing goes on these, for me, they're literally just as snug as I would want them before I went up a half size. I think actually next time I cop a pair of 500s, I might go up a half size just to see which one I like more. So if you're somebody who likes a little bit more room in their sneakers, I would definitely say go up a half size. And then of course, if you have the option, I don't know if there's any of these left over at any stores. I haven't seen them sitting around me, but if they are, go in, check out a pair and see how they fit. So let's talk about comfort. Again, these don't have boost, and to me that is a huge downside, but they're not uncomfortable. They have really good support. It's not gonna give you that same cushy feel that you're used to in your 350s or even in the 700s. So if that's something that you're looking for, you're not gonna find that in these. But I think overall, just kind of all day walking around in these, I think they're gonna be comfortable. I do wish that they had boost, but overall, I think these are still gonna be a comfortable sneaker. All right, so what's the verdict? What's the answer to the big question? Are these a cop or not? To me, they're definitely a cop. I think these are super, super sick. It took me a little while to warm up to the 500s. I mean, it's literally probably been since last month that I actually thought that these were a sneaker worth copying. I just saw them a little bit more, especially that utility black pair. They've really grown on me. Now, I think there is one caveat to that. If you have the salt or the blush colorway on these, I think you're safe passing on the bone white. They're just too similar. I know the salt have that really subtle blue hue to them, and the blush is almost like a tan. Those to me look just like a pair of bone white that have been worn a little bit and they're a little bit dirty. That to me is like the main difference. The outsole on these I know is a little bit of a two-tone outsole, but it's just all too subtle to me. I'm not gonna spend $200 on these and then $200 on the blush. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if you're the kind of person who has to have every pair in the collection, that's a different story. But for normal people, I would say I would skip these if you have those other two. If not, and you're thinking about getting these, definitely cop them. I think that the resale on these is just gonna keep going up. To my knowledge, again, these are pretty rare. I think it was like 50,000 pairs. So yeah, it's a cop unless you have the blush or the salt. All right, so now let's talk giveaways. If you've been watching the channel, you already know I've got a $20 Foot Locker credit giveaway that I'm doing to reach 300 subscribers by the end of August. But if you look at the calendar, we're really close to the end of August, and if you look at my subscribers, I'm nowhere near 300, so I'm not gonna hit that goal. Don't worry if you enter that contest, I'm still giving away that $20 credit. However, I do want to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I want to hit that goal and I want to take it seriously. And a lot of you have been asking for me to do a sneaker giveaway. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. If I hit 500 subscribers by December 15th, I'm going to be giving away these Michigan 5s right over here. And by the way, they're pretty much dead stock. I only wore them one time just for the review. I did the on feet, but I mean, you can see the outsole here, still clean, still icy. So don't worry about that. I didn't go off and wear these all around. I just wore them that one time. So you're gonna be getting a pretty much dead stock sneaker. Now I wanna make it very easy for you guys to enter this giveaway. So all that you need to do is of course make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and then down in the comments of this video, just let me know what your grail is. It can be anything. It can be Jordans, Nikes, Adidas, Yeezy, whatever your grail is. I know mine's the Black Cement 3 if you guys have been watching before. You know that's my grail, so let me know what yours is. Jordan 1 shattered backboard, I don't know, whatever it is, let me know in the comments what your grail is. Now for additional entries, you're gonna wanna head over to Instagram. So there's a few ways you can get additional entries there. So the first thing that you're gonna do to get an additional entry is follow me on Instagram and then shoot me a DM with a screenshot showing me that you subscribed to the YouTube channel and also click the notification bell. That's one additional entry. Now to get an additional entry, you're gonna wanna go to my Instagram feed, find the giveaway post, it's just gonna be a picture of the Michigan 5s here, and in the comments, tag 3 people that you know who would love the channel and who would also want to enter this giveaway. So I'm going to be keeping track of all this, and then again, if I hit 500 subscribers by the middle of December, I'm going to be giving these Michigan 5s away. I really want to do a sneaker giveaway. I want these to go to somebody who either wants them or who's going to use them as trade bait to get a sneaker that they really want, or maybe just sell it and get a little bit of extra Christmas money. Either way, I want to give them away, and hopefully this will help grow the channel to a point where I can do sneaker giveaways more often. That way I can just give back to you guys. I always want to make sure to show my appreciation to everybody who's been watching the channel. And then of course, as always, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you're notified when I post new videos. And if you guys are stoked for a sneaker giveaway, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the video. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Later.